Hi, thank you for joining me today, and in today's video I am creating a layout using the Simple Stories Heart Eyes collection. We use this collection as a nest box kit, Jackie Ashton and I, on the Hey Little Magpie website. So first of all, I'm using my brayer and some Tim Holtz Distress Oxide inks. The first one in pink was Worn Lipstick, and the second one in grey is the new Lost Shadow colour. And I'm just creating a stripe down the centre of the layout. This is going to go horizontally across the layout, but I found it easier to do it vertically, so that's why I did that. Next, I'm coming in with the stamp from this collection, the pluses. You'll have seen me using this before if you watch my videos. This is just one of my favourite stamps for adding texture to a layout. So just using my archival ink in black to add some pluses all over this strip before going in with my photo. And you can see the photo on the right hand side. It's a picture of me and Mum in December. We went down to see her family in the West Midlands, and I just got her to stop and take a selfie. So I just wanted to document this because I do love taking her down there, and it's really nice to have some time together just chatting in the car while we're driving down. It's about an hour and a half to get down there. So these are two tiny little strips that I had left over from previous layouts. So just tearing down the middle to poke it down either side to make it appear longer. And this is the branding strip. Actually, one of them's the branding strip and one of them's the paper. And they're just tiny bits, but it was enough to create a little shelf for that photo to sit on. And then I'm bringing in one of the tags. This is from one of the papers, and I cut it out for a previous layout and not used it. So that's going underneath the photo. And then I wanted this and sign. I've been eyeing up this and sign on the sticker sheet for ages. I love it. I think the fact it's grey and black as well. I really like those colours together, if you can call them colours. I suppose I still remember my primary teacher saying, no, they're shadows, not colours. Shades, not colours. Anyway, so just sticking these strips down, just using my fingernails to rough up the edges. And then I'll pop them down on either side of the layout as I've laid it out there. Just keeping hold of that ampersand until they're stuck down, and then I can pop that down after. So again, just using my fingernails, because it's such a small strip, it's sometimes tricky to use that distress tool, so it's easier just to rough them up with your fingernails. Just making sure that I've got it all, and then they can go down too. And again, as per usual, just using my wet glue to get these stuck down. You can see it was that You and Me paper that was the branding strip on this one. So now they're down, I can trim off the excess from that tag because I can use that on another piece. It's just grid paper, and that will work really nicely for something else. And then working out what to pop next to it. Sometimes I'll add two tags, but this time I decided to use a piece of that Me and You paper again. So once again, just roughing up the edges. I think at this point I was just too lazy to get my Tim Holtz edge distresser out the drawer, so just using my fingernails. Just checking that I'm happy with the distressing and doing this tag. And then I can start building up the embellishment clusters around the photo. And it was a little bit of a tricky one, this, because obviously it's a picture of me and my mum, so it's not totally lovey-dovey. And some of the things on this collection can be quite lovey-dovey, but I got there and I'm really pleased with the results. So just popping the edges of that ampersand up on some foam pads. These are the Sticks 2 foam pads on a roll that we sell at Hey Little Magpie. They're really handy, and if you cut them off the roll and put them in a little plastic box, they're easy to use. So just raising up that side because it's stuck on a few layers of paper and then on the photo. And now this big heart is from the 12x12 sticker sheet, and I want to use that to embellish on the right hand side, but I didn't want to cover up too much of Mum. So just working out exactly where I'm going to put that, but that goes down there. And then I decide I want to add my journaling. And my journaling simply reads, I love going to the Midlands with you to see your sisters and hear their stories and see family. Lovely having time together, Mum. So now this is a cut apart from one of the cut apart papers, and it just says You and Me, so I think that works nicely. So I'm bringing that in. I distress all the edges and then realise that actually I want to trim it down a bit because it's quite big and bulky up there and doesn't need to be that big. So you can see it goes right almost to the edge of those paper strips, and I don't really want that. So in the meantime, I'm adding some more foam hearts. These are from the 6x12 foam sticker sheet. I'm just creating a layer, a cluster of hearts there. It's great to have the different dimension of the foam. And now I'm coming in with one of the tag pieces from this cut apart sheet. So just trimming up to get to it. It's this one with the black and white zigzag. I just think that would be nice as another layer behind the photo. So once I've got that trimmed out, it's just working where it's going to go. At first I think I want it on the left hand side, but it just feels a little bit heavy there. So this is me trimming down the edges. I do the top and bottom and then realise I need to do the side as well. But much happier with it once it's nestled in there. I didn't need all that excess white space around it. So trimming this in half so I can use the two parts, but I'm not happy. When I use two parts, I tend to do one on the vertical and one on the horizontal. It just looks better to my eye. And like I said, it was a bit heavy on that left-hand side, but popping it on the right there works nicely. And now I'm going in with this ticket paper to cut out one of the tickets to use as an ephemera piece. And this is just a half ticket, but it tucks in nicely there. And I've distressed the edges so that I didn't have to fiddle about with the ticket ends on that. And then this is another half piece that, again, I'm doing the same thing, just cutting the corners, the inverted rounded corners, and then just distressing the edges, just roughing it all up, and it's going to tuck down at the bottom there. And it just creates a nice step between those strips of paper up to that half cut tag that we've got going on there. So now I'm going to have a look through the ephemera to see if there's anything in this that I can find. Now I do have plenty of hearts that I cut out, a fussy cut from one of the heart papers. So just having a play around with all the different heart pieces and the plus signs here, and then realise it's probably much easier just to pull everything out. So as I say, just messing about with the hearts, trying to work out what to put where. And ultimately I decide that they're best clustered around the bottom of the photo, underneath that tag. And keep trying to keep everything underneath that line of distress ink that I added at the beginning. So I like this circular piece, but I knew I wasn't going to use it with the words on it, so I thought it would be a nice layering piece underneath that ampersand. So I just have to trim a quarter off to get it to fit under there neatly. And it just about, that me and you paper just about covers the words, enough that you don't notice them. And I'm really pleased the way that rounds off the bottom of the layout there. So everything gradually leads down to that tag pointing down to the bottom of the page. So again, just using my wet glue to stick that down, and then continuing to have a play with these hearts that I've pulled out. Like I say, some are from the ephemera and some are from fussy cutting one of the papers. So at this point I realised that I haven't glued any of these bits down. I've been laying around the page, so quickly pop some wet glue on those to get it stuck down. And my apologies that I hadn't removed that brown paper from the layout, underneath the layout. I put it there at the beginning when I was brayering, so I didn't get the ink on my desk. And then just I got lost in the moment, I think, and forgot to remove it. So still having a play with those hearts, deciding exactly where I want them. And then I can start gluing again. So getting that little tag stuck down. And the ticket. And then I think I've done those hearts now, so I'm just adding a few more. Now that I've got more of a clear idea of exactly what I want to do down here. I'm going to tie some twine and a bow on that tag, so I'm not worried about keeping it clear to bring the string down underneath the layout. So here I am with the twine. It's wax twine. We sell this on bobbins now at Hey Little Magpie. It's really useful. It keeps its shape nicely. It's not too floppy like embroidery thread can be. So just making a neat bow and then adding some glue just to keep it stuck down. And continuing with the hearts, I felt that it was, I purposefully put the photo slightly to the right hand side of the middle, but I felt it wasn't quite balanced. So I'm coming in with some hand-drawn plus signs now to match those plus signs that I'd stamped at the beginning. Just using a thick black marker pen. You could use a Sharpie or anything like that. And I do go a bit crazy. I think once you start, you just keep, oh, I'll just add a bit here, I'll just add a bit here. But I really like how that's worked out. And now coming in with my shimmers in Pinko de Mayo. And this is just a very pale pastel pink, just to add some tiny splatters. You can see I'm using a tiny little brush because I just want small splatters. I don't want anything too intrusive on the layout. But again, it's just covering up that white space a little bit and adding a bit of interest. And while I'm doing this, I'm still not entirely happy with that left-hand side underneath the ampersand. I just feel like it's a bit empty there and not quite balanced. I also realise that I haven't added the date yet, so I need to add that. So while I'm doing this, please do check the description box down below. I'll leave a link to our nest box kit. It's a fabulous kit that Jackie and I have put together with 6 classes, and we've also got a Facebook group. It's a payable Facebook group. You don't have to buy the kit to join the Facebook group, but we're providing additional inspiration every week using what we've got left of the kit. I think this is my 5th layout now using it, and I've still got a mountain to use. So there'll be lots of inspiration there. So here I am solving this issue with the balance, adding some more hearts, and then I actually come in with one of the new JD3D print heart geotags, I think they're called, or geotag hearts, and I painted it in black, and it just finishes it off really nicely. It sort of balances that black heart that I've got on the right hand side as well. So here I am adding it now. So thank you so much for joining. Please do give this video a like if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel. I'd love to have you here, and I shall see you again very soon. Thanks again. Bye.